We are back. I am your host, Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney, dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. And it seems like fresh off the press, we're going to take a look at the article. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend are looking to reclaim some trademarks that are currently owned by the New England Patriots. Who says the young women can't get anything done here? Just kind of give you guys a lay of the land here. It seems like Bill Belichick, and we're going to take a look at the article here in a little bit, but just kind of give you guys a lay of the land. It seemed like Bill Belichick, when he was the head coach of the New England Patriots, and he was the coach of the New England Patriots for decades, had came up with two catchphrases. Number one was "no days off," and the other one was "ignore the noise." It seems like the New England Patriots actually filed for trademark protection on those phrases, such that they are the current owners of those phrases. And I always tell you guys all the time, to the extent that you come up with something, and I understand that people don't want to kind of always make money or kind of go through the process to kind of protect it, but you need to strongly consider protecting your intellectual property, whether it's in this case trademark, whether it's a copyright, whether it's a patent, because if you don't protect it, I can assure you that somebody else will at some point. I think we talked about the Jalen Hurts situation with the Philadelphia Eagles when they were on a parade and he had this Love Hurts shirt, and the spectator in the crowd, before the parade ended, they had filed for trademark protection on the phrase "Love Hurts" based on seeing it from the Jalen Hurts hoodie that he was wearing. So that's going to prevent Jalen Hurts from being able to monetize off that phrase just because he did not file for trademark protection first. So again, when you are kind of thinking about a phrase or a logo or a word or whatever the case may be, you need to strongly consider, do I protect this via whatever form of intellectual property it is? Because to the extent that you come out with it without protecting it, you better believe that somebody else probably is going to protect that word and try to monetize off of it, or protect that intellectual property and try to monetize off of it. But kind of back to the lay of the land here. So Bill Belichick, when he's the coach of the New England Patriots, he kind of coined these phrases: "no days off" and "ignore the noise." New England Patriots filed for trademark protection on them and are currently the owners of the actual phrases. And it seems like, obviously we all know Bill Belichick. He moved on from the New England Patriots, or maybe they moved on from him. But he got with his girlfriend, who's a young thing. Bill Belichick, I would look it up. He's 72 and he has a girlfriend that's 24 years old. Let me say that again. Bill Belichick is 3 times the age of his girlfriend. But who says young women can't get things done? They have filed, or they have created a company, and she has filed for trademark protection on these phrases: "no days off" and "ignore the noise," such that her and Bill is trying to get them back from the New England Patriots. So that's kind of where we are at in the article. Let's pull it up and go through it. Before, as I'm pulling it up, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit the subscribe button to be a part of the IP community, where we talk essentially everything intellectual property. So here's the article. And again, shout out to people. This just came out today, actually, April 15, 2025. Jordan Hudson files trademarks for boyfriend Bill Belichick's version of his phrases that Robert Kraft owns. This is actually interesting. I'll be interested on whether or not this throws a monkey wrench in a relationship between Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, to the extent that they were on good terms. So let's read the article here. Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick are taking a page out of Taylor Swift's playbook after the couple made headlines in March for Bill Belichick request that his girlfriend be looped in all his work emails. Wow. After the couple made headlines in March, so just last month, it seems like Bill Belichick saying, "Hey, everything that's dealing with work, I want you guys to include my girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who's 24 years old, in those emails." That's crazy. Appears to be helping Belichick reclaim the trademarks to various phrases coined by the iconic football coach that are currently owned by Robert Kraft and the Patriots. On April 3rd, this is the day after my birthday, Trouble Club Enterprises, which Hudson is the CEO and founder of, according to her LinkedIn profile, filed for 14 trademarks with the Federal Trademark Office. Dang, so she filed for 14 trademarks earlier this month. Seems like she's the CEO and the founder of this company, but it seems like her and Bill Belichick co-owns the company. Among the trademark Hudson wants the company to own several are phrases like "do your job" and "ignore the noise," which are currently trademarked by the New England Patriots. Hudson has instead listed them with Bill's version at the end, much like how Swift 35 released re-recorded versions of her discography after it was purchased by, I guess, Scooter Braun. And I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on this at the end on whether or not I think Bill Belichick and his girl Jordan Hudson is going to be successful in this. Currently, the Patriots own the trademark to both of the previously mentioned phrases per the USPTO website. And Hudson dropped a few additional hints suggesting she's taking inspiration from Taylor Swift's methods of reclaiming her work. Hudson has been making reference to snakes in her comments and captions, as well as Sartrelli. I'm not sure who that is or what that is. And on April 4th, the day after her birthday, Hudson and Swift's single, Look What You Made Me Do, widely known as her lyrical jab at Brun, on her Instagram. In a post on April 13th, Hudson, that's what played another song. Okay, so she's just playing songs based off Taylor Swift. Belichick and the Patriots parted ways in 2024 at the 24th, 2 dozen years. That time he won 6 Super Bowls and had a lot of success. So let me guys give you my thoughts on this one. And a lot of times, man, I make these videos and I am trying to give you guys information. And sometimes it can be like, man, is this really working? I think 2 things that let me know or have me kind of appreciate it and me keep going and doing what I'm doing is, number one, the comments that I get under a lot of the videos talking about, hey, this was helpful. I thank you for the information. But the second part of it is when people kind of they talk as if they know what they're doing. I can almost assure you that she didn't go through it to a trademark attorney. I would kind of bet my dollar maybe she did and they gave her some bad advice. But I can almost assure you that she did not go through a trademark attorney when she filed for these trademarks. Number one, Taylor Swift and her music is a copyright. Again, it's another form of intellectual property, but trademarks and copyrights are completely 2 different things. Trademarks protect a logo, a phrase, a word, and such as Nike, the checkmark logo, Just Do It. All those are examples of trademarks, and those are kind of protecting more or less branding of the company, whereas copyrights protects creative works. Think of songs, think of pictures, think of books. All those are the form of copyright. In copyright law, you have a clawback provision. So after so many years, you can re-record the song to get ownership of the song that you may have earlier gave away. You see a lot of artists doing that these days where they were signed to a record label and they created music or albums that the record label owned. But after so many years, they can re-record those songs and get ownership of the re-recorded songs. I think Ashanti did that, and in this case, Taylor Swift did that, and that's perfectly fine and perfectly legal to do. However, trademark law, that is no such thing as a clawback provision in trademark law. Again, that's why I was telling you guys at the beginning, when you come out with this music or not music, but when you come out with this trademark, whether there's a logo, whether there's a phrase, or whether there's a word, you have to file for trademark protection sooner rather than later, because to the extent that somebody else filed for trademark protection, you're SOL unless they kind of abandon the mark or whatever the case may be. So Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, thinking that she's going to apply copyright law to something that's dealing with a trademark, she's not going to have success in. And any IP attorney would have told her, like, hey, what Taylor Swift did applies to music or creative works or copyrights. And what you're doing, you're trying to file for trademark protection. You can't just put Bill Belichick's version at the end of the song and all of a sudden you own that phrase. That's not how that's going to work. You're going to file for a trademark. You're going to file what you have done, file for trademark application, file for trademark protection on these trademarks. And the USPTO is going to reject them and say, hey, these are confusingly similar, or is the likelihood of confusion in light of the marks that are owned by Robert Kraft and the New England Patriots. All of us, you thinking that you're going to apply some type of copyright rules to trademarks. Again, this is what gets me going or gets me amped up or has me doing these videos, because a lot of people are trying to use intellectual property laws wrongly or inaccurately. And again, this is an example of that, where Jordan Hudson is using trademark laws or trying to use copyright law to apply to trademark, and she's going to fail miserably. I'm going to keep up with this, but I would imagine that she's going to fail miserably in this, because that clawback provision that she's talking about with Taylor Swift and copyrights and music does not apply to trademark law. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Let me know whether or not you think this is going to be a rift between Bill Belichick as well as a New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Let me know, do you think it's a good idea whether or not Bill Belichick is looping in Jordan Hudson to kind of deal with all his business ventures. I would love to hear you guys' comments on that. And I can already tell you that the likelihood that this succeeding, what she's trying to do, at least with regard to the trademarks that are owned by New England Patriots, she's definitely going to most likely fail miserably on that. But those are my comments. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. I actually have an ebook that I came out with last week that's kind of breaking down the different forms of intellectual property and how you can properly apply them. So check out that link in the comment section. And hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, take care. Peace.